The latest announcement by Xbox was so huge that it crashed a page on their website. Unfortunately, that page was the page that players had to use to cancel their Game Pass subscription, but, still impressive. That's right, the once mighty brand known as Xbox has fallen on difficult times as of late. It's no secret that over the past two generations, Sony and their PlayStation offering has become the premier console. While Microsoft and the Xbox 360 dominated the majority of the seventh generation, they were eventually surpassed in sales by Sony's PS3, and Sony hasn't looked back. The lack of sustainable exclusives during the eighth generation put them in a hole that they haven't ever really been able to climb out of. While Sony has put out hits like Horizon Zero Dawn, The Last of Us 2, and Ghost of Tsushima, among many others, Xbox, Halo, and Gears entries, once pillars of the gaming industry, Xbox's Halo and Gears of War entries, once pillars of the gaming industry, failed to impress. So Microsoft did what any super rich company does and said, if you can't come up with interesting IPs yourself, you may as well buy other companies that can, spending billions of dollars on acquiring Bethesda and Activision Blizzard, moves that would lead to investigations by the government over antitrust concerns. In order to get the deals through, Microsoft had to promise to release titles like Call of Duty on multiple platforms, somewhat kneecapping the original intent of buying established titles and making them your platform's exclusives. So they shifted their focus from selling consoles based on the promise of exclusive titles and instead making it the platform that offers gamers the best value proposition. They did this in two ways. One, offering a less expensive version of their next-gen console alongside the Series X. They came out with the Series S, a less powerful box that lacked a disk drive, but was priced much lower than the X and PS5, an easy way for more budget-conscious players to enter the next generation. The larger initiative was based around their Game Pass program. Like Netflix, Game Pass would allow players to access many titles for a low monthly fee. The value being offered was incredible, and honestly kept getting better with new titles being dropped on Game Pass day and date. Many players couldn't believe that it was worth it for Xbox to offer such a deal, and that was because it wasn't. Or at least it seems like they've revealed that it wasn't with their latest price increase. The moves Xbox have been making over the past month or so have been perplexing to say the least. And really, what I want to say is, what the fuck are they doing? First, they increased the price of their 5-year-old consoles, with the Series X going from an already expensive $599 to $649, and the Series S, once a great example of budget-friendly offerings, going from $379 to $399. Normally, at this point in a console's life cycle, we start to see them being offered at significant discounts, but not so with the Series consoles. I get that times are tough and that tariffs are causing many things to balloon in price, but Microsoft has to understand that times are tough for everyone. People aren't going to want to spend this much on consoles, especially when everything else is already so expensive. Then, they announced the price of their long-awaited handheld console collaboration with Asus, the ROG Xbox Ally and ROG Xbox Ally X. These prices were not what the public wanted or expected. The Ally X will run you $999, and the Ally is a more reasonable $599. I think many people were expecting these prices to be closer to Valve's Steam Deck offering, given the financial might that Microsoft has. However, that wasn't the case, and as such, the value would have to come from the Xbox Game Pass. Yeah, the handheld itself is expensive, but at least you have access to a huge library of games for cheap, right? Yeah, the handheld itself is expensive, but at least you'll have access to a huge library of games for cheap, right? Well, not so fast, as they announced that Game Pass would be getting reworked and the price for the top tier would increase. The Ultimate version, which includes over 400 games a year and all of Xbox published games at launch, plus others, is increasing from $19.99 to $29.99, an extra $120 a year. You can see why so many people rushed to cancel their subscriptions before the price change went into effect. You can still get some games with the next level down called Game Pass Premium, which will cost you $14.99 a month and include 200 plus games, but no longer will see Xbox titles available at launch, but they will come to the service within a year. Finally, you can get the Essential tier for $9.99, which was the original price of Game Pass when it launched back in 2017. This includes 50 plus games, so I don't really see why someone would consistently subscribe to this tier. At best, you'll have people joining for a month to play an old title that is finally available on the service. These moves are so strange and feel somewhat desperate. Xbox is floundering and attempting a last-minute Hail Mary to hang on in the console game. I doubt it will work out, and I just can't see people subscribing to the ultimate version of Game Pass year-round. Maybe when a new title comes out, but still, that's like half the price of just buying the game. It may be that they prefer players to go back to purchasing games outright rather than subscribing to Game Pass, but that really undermines everything that they've been saying for years. Plus, many players have already chosen PlayStation for that. This all seems like bad news for Microsoft and Xbox. This all seems like bad news for Microsoft and the Xbox brand. I'll be interested to see what their reaction to the swift backlash is, if they have any reaction at all. But until that time, I want to know what you think. Are you in agreement with me about the Xbox brand being in dire straits? Let me know in the comments. Thank you so much for checking out this video. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe. We have new videos coming out at least once a week, maybe more. We'll see how it goes. But if you somehow can't get enough content, we have a lot of other channels, including Those Fake Nerds. If you somehow can't get enough, we have a lot of other channels, including Those Fake Nerds, which is nerd and pop culture news, Wicked Sports, which is sports news, Wicked Scary, which, like the title implies, scary stories, cryptids, urban legends, that kind of stuff, and our podcasting channel, Better Radio. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.